how do you build a business that caters to high net worth individuals? How do you create a family type office that offers family type office services all under one roof? This has been a very difficult thing for a lot of advisors in the Canadian marketplace, but our next guest has done it. Dean Trudeau has built a wonderful business in the market of Ottawa and focused on the high net worth needs and putting all the professionals under one roof. Hi, I'm Chris Reynolds, and I'm on a mission to help independent financial advisors build a better business through a remarkable client experience. In this podcast, you're going to learn how to do that from my conversations with the visionaries, the leaders, the independent advisors who are reshaping the future of the financial advice industry. At the end of each episode, you're going to walk away with an actionable idea that you can take and use right now, and it will help you to build a better business today. This is Turning the Page. Every financial advisor wants to serve the high net worth market. After all, that's where the money is. However, as we've discussed on previous episodes on this podcast, the rich are different from you and me. They have specialized needs. They have other considerations. Rather than just looking for someone to manage their money, that's probably not the first thing that a high net worth individual is looking for. They're looking for a lot of other things to sort of round out their life, round out the advice that they're getting. It takes a lot to put together the right set of professionals to help high net worth individuals solve their financial problems. And our next guest has done just that. In a short period of time, Dean Trudeau has built a truly unique offering for his clients and has put together a really good team of professionals in one location to serve those clients' needs. For those who don't know Dean, he's the founder of OPES Family Advisory in Ottawa, heads up the investment strategy committee as the lead portfolio manager, and Dean himself is registered as a portfolio manager, which we'll get into. You know, he began his investment career back in 1987. He had good time. Actually, that was the same time as me, so look at that. He holds his designation as a certified financial planner, and he's been in the business for well over 25 years. He's got a deep commitment to his field. He's done all kinds of speaking on this particular topic. He has a great team, and I think it's going to be a great story to tell. So, Dean, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Chris.
So, Dean, you have a really great story to tell. So why don't you tell us, how did you get here?
Okay, well, do you want the short version or the long version? I think I'll stick to the short version.
I'm going to go with the interesting version.
Yeah,
I always want the interesting version.
Yeah. Well, I guess I don't know how interesting it is, but I'll certainly share it with you. I mean, if we look back in the day, I needed a job, right? I was in university. I needed a job, and I stumbled across this, honest to God, a telemarketing job.
It's a great way to say it. I started the same way.
Yeah, and this telemarketing job was with a general insurance company that also sold life insurance. Now, at the time, the telemarketing job was just for general insurance. You were phoning for expiry dates. We called them X dates.
Right.
You phone up. I still know the script today, and it says, "Hi, it's Dean phoning from Exton Financial Services." That was the name of the company. It's long gone. We specialize in saving money for clients on auto and home insurance. Would you want to save money on your auto home insurance? Yeah. Okay, good. When are your expiry dates? And so that's what I was doing.
I love it.
I'd get paid 50 cents in what we called an X date. So this was going really well. And this guy named Bert Langella, who really has helped me in the business long term. I said to him, Bert, I can only produce so many. How about you producing? How about if I produce a whole bunch and you pay me and I'll pay the people? He liked it. So I got a bunch of my buddies. We drank beer on Tuesday and Thursday nights. I provide the beer and the pizza. They got paid 25 cents the next date. I collected 50 and kept 25. So I guess that's where my entrepreneurial spirit.
I was going to say, that's entrepreneurship 101 right there.
Yeah. And then, I went into life insurance and bing, bang, bong. Next thing you know, I'm in the investment world doing this. And that's sort of how it evolved. I don't think anybody plans to get into this, right?
I don't think so. I think, everyone's story is a little bit unique, a little bit different, but it we all fall into it. And then we're like, this is the greatest business I've ever seen. So we got
It's a great business. There's days that is great, and there's days that aren't. If you're having all great days, then I think you're doing something wrong. But that's another story.
That's a whole other story on how we.
The only guy I know that has all great days, Chris, is you.
Wow. What do we say? Days are what you make them. So
yeah.
Now your business, Dean, is pretty unique. Now you've built something that I think is pretty special. Down in the U.S., down in the U.S. here, family offices. There's a lot of them, but in Canada, family office is not really a thing as much. Certainly there are some, but not really any ones that really fit the same type of criteria that you see here. So you put something pretty unique together. So for everyone's benefit, maybe talk a little bit about what you think, from your definition at least, what's the purpose of a family office? Why would a client seek it out? And how does it differ from what we call the traditional wealth management type of services?
Yeah. So certainly in Canada here today, and I'm going to be a little controversial here, I think, we're not a family office. We offer family office services.
Right.
The real money.
And that's a good definition.
Yes. The real money knows what a family office is. A family office is usually an incorporated entity that exists for one reason and one reason only, and that is to serve a family or possibly multi-families. And family offices have, a true family office has multiple services. They've got accounting, tax planning, estate planning, insurance, legal, philanthropy, investment, business strategy, family development of the actual family, and health management. That's really a full integrated approach for a family office. What most advisors I hear it all the time. I go to these meetings. They say, "Yeah, I run a family office practice," and I like to say that's what.
Yeah,
it just shows that they don't know. We call them family office imposters. They have great planning and they have great investment, but administration, reporting, family values and goals, healthcare, coordinating trips, building management, real estate management, life management, healthcare management, that's a true family office. Now, we have family office services, and that's what we call ourselves, OPES Family Advisory.
Right.
So in our office, we have the traditional, we have planning, we have 2 CFPs on staff, we have a CIM and a portfolio manager, lucky enough to be me. We have real estate. Now, for disclosure purposes, these are all OBAs, and everybody will know what I'm talking about. We have tax advice because we have a CPA on staff.
Right.
And then we have legal. So, and these are people we know. Like everybody says, I've got that. I know a guy, I know a girl. Well, I don't know a guy, I don't know a girl. We got them in the office. And that's
right. That's the difference. They're all in one location.
And that is huge. And I'll tell you why. Because every Monday, all of us are sitting around the table talking about the same client on a regular basis.
Right.
So it's coordinated efforts, that sort of thing. And believe it or not, it's very tough to get these people.
This is the challenge that you've put together. Like, as I said, I hear a lot of people talking about it, but you've actually managed to corral a bunch of highly talented people into one place. So how'd you go about that? Like, how did you decide this is the business I want? And then what were the steps to actually get there?
Yeah. So trial and error, first of all. We don't have the same people we had to start with. And there's going to be probably changes in the future. Anybody listening in the office is not going to be happy with this, but that's just the way.
The reality of
that's the reality of the business, and I hope everybody does. But that is the reality of the business. And the reason I decided to do this was one conversation I had with you, and another conversation I had with Mr. Black, who you know who that is.
Yes. And he's also been a guest on the show, by the way, Bill.
Yeah, he's a very, very, very insightful gentleman, and I took both what you said and he said to heart, and that is, you have to make a decision as an advisor, because there's 2 races going on in the world right now, in our world.
Right.
There's a race to the top, and there's a race to the bottom. And I'm not going to make any friends, but most advisors are heavily engaged in the race to the bottom.
Right. Yep.
Whether they think so or not, they are. We decided to make a race to the top. And what the difference is I invest every dime in the business. I don't earn a lot of money. We have a big book. The firm earns a lot of money, but everybody that I just mentioned is actually an employee.
Right. They're on payroll.
And the reason is that we wanted to make this into an enterprise and then be able to leverage that enterprise, make it repeatable. And that's how we do it with good people. So we decided to go for the race for the top. And you've been a big help. So if other advisors are listening to this, what I do best is, I think I do this best, and Chris, you can comment on it, is I just listen and I go do it.
And that is your special. Everyone has a unique talent, and I've said this many occasions. Dean, your unique talent is you're an implementer. Like, there's lots of great ideas out there. Ideas actually are a dime a dozen. But the one thing I can say truly about you, Dean, is you actually implement those ideas. Like, you took this from a concept to a reality within a very short period of time, and there was a pandemic in the middle, and still you've built a pretty formidable business with the concepts of serving that type of client. One of the hardest things to do is to take strategy, which is theory, and move it into action, which is execution. And this is what I talk to advisors literally about every single day, is how do you take that next big idea and actually make it happen? So if you want to chat about your next big idea and how to turn your strategy into action, go to the link and you can schedule a virtual coffee with me. And I do these virtual coffees all the time. And it's great to really talk about strategy and what you need to do to actually make it come true. So if you want to have a little chat, just go to the show notes. There's a link there, hit the link, and happy to schedule a call and have a little chat.
The pandemic was interesting. We had a big event the other night. So in our office, we have an actual art gallery, and we promote local artists, both visual artists and performing artists. Actually, we're just getting accredited as an associate producer on a movie, which is pretty cool.
Wow.
But we had a party here the other night for clients, COIs, and guests, and it was to feature the artists. So we had about 50 people here. Each artist spoke about their work. There were 6 artists briefly, just to feature their artists. So it's sort of about just being different out there, and doing that, and kind of supporting the local community, and that's been paying off for us with obviously COIs and clients referrals and all that type of thing.
Well, that's the interesting part, is once you've established it, your business is now like referral after referral, and some very great clients that you're bringing in. Tell us about that effect. Like, once you got them together, how are you getting that word out there? And this is a great example, so I'm sure you have some other ones.
Yeah. So our team is very structured, and every day we try to make it more structured, and everybody has unique responsibilities. So, for instance, we have a COO, Chief Operating Officer. His responsibility is to run the office, run the staff, but also he's a CFP, and he's our planner. He's the head of planning.
Right.
So he's responsible for planning and keeping all of our clients on the planning trail. And he delivers an exceptional experience, which supports clients wanting to give us referrals.
Right.
And he also does regular calls with our COIs. And then we also have Chief Financial Officer. He runs the finances of the company, but also he is a CPA, so he runs our tax. And he knows business owners and gets us in front of those business owners. So Matt, who is a partner in the firm, he's the planner. Andre is the CPA, he's partner in the firm. He runs the tax and the financials of the business, gets us in front of a ton of business owners. And then, of course, there's myself as the founder and the portfolio manager. My primary responsibility is the money. I do no planning anymore.
Right.
So that way we can deliver that exceptional experience. And we keep our COIs involved. We get them into the office. We go see them. We do we've been doing a quarterly investment capital markets outlook for almost 3 years now. Every quarter, we do a Zoom with all of our clients who want to attend, but we go to our COIs and give it as well.
Great. That's a great idea.
Yeah. It's a slow burn, but we've got a lot of traction on it. Recently, we decided to turn our quarterly events, actually, they're not quarterly now, they're going to be bi-monthly, into the office, and everyone is going to support a charity.
I love it.
Of one of our COIs.
Right.
So, as an example, we've got a COI who's a CPA. She deals basically with physicians. Our next event, it's either the next one or the one after, I can't remember, is supporting Doctors Without Borders.
Oh, that's a great foundation. Great.
Well, it's a great thing. We're going to get all the doctors in, man. All they're going to see is the office, and then we'll go from there.
Right.
So that's how we kind of leverage that. And then And then, of course, the planning drives everything.
Well, that's where I was going to go to next. Like, one of the things that, as you know, and we've discussed this at length on our own, is I've taken the time to really study what the high net worth shops who are successful in both Canada and the United States, what makes them successful? What are the difference? And this is where I also see in your firm is you lead with the financial plan. Like, it's about the client first. It's about, to your point, asking that client, having a great dialogue, really understanding their financial positions, their goals, their dreams, what they want for their kids, their estate, their tax. Like, it's so much more than simply, here's my investment strategy and here's why it's so much better than everyone else. And your setup is really conducive to that because you have someone basically in charge of financial plans. So how has that worked for you, is leading with the plan?
Good. I mean, we have a fit meeting. And then, of course, we have meetings that follow. But our fit meeting really uncovers that. And is there a good fit for the client? We've actually turned away clients that have said they only want investment management because we don't think we can give that much value. Anybody that thinks that their investment process is that unique and that's their true value is in the race to the bottom. That's right. That's the race to the bottom. So we've turned those away. And sometimes when clients come in and there's a fit meeting and we don't actually get the business, I think we're ghost shopped.
Maybe.
That's how I get through it.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they wouldn't do business. So if they're not, we're being ghost shopped. That's my way of staying alive. No, but we definitely lead with the plan. And we have questions about that. Some clients get scared by it. Some clients don't. And I think the people that get scared by it are because they know that once they look the big ugly cat in the face, they're going to realize that their plans aren't all they're stacked up to be. And we have people come in when I said, bring your wealth plan in that you have, they show up with an investment statement. That's encouraging. I love advisors that just do investment planning. Love them. I think every other advisor is better to do that.
Well, a shocking statistic, and it's been shared before, is they did a study of clients, and this is in the Canadian marketplace, that had over $1 million of investable assets. So these would be clients that anyone would think is a good client. And what they found was 84% of them had never received a written financial plan from the person that they called an advisor. 84%. So that's why I think the market that you continue to dominate, especially in a market like Ottawa, is a prime market because, again, leading with the financial plan. And then, by the way, and we'll expand it, you actually became a portfolio manager. So you actually have a discretionary designation. So how does that fit into the puzzle of high net worth individuals?
Yeah. So the high net worth individual does think differently, for sure. I don't even know if I think like the high net worth individual. We certainly try.
Right.
But they do act and think differently. Different things are important to them. Everybody would think that the money is the most important, and it's actually not. It's a component, make no mistake.
Sure. It's important. You got to pay for things, but
it's not the most important thing. So, and the plan really uncovers what is the most important thing. Things like, taking care of others, their legacy, risk mitigation, because they've taken huge risks in the past.
Yep.
Obviously the things that everybody talks about, minimizing tax and stuff. But really what it boils down to most high net worth and ultra high net worth is their family and legacy. Right. Is what's
carrying on
and carrying on. And we can help them with that. Now, we're lucky enough that I don't know what the definitions these days are, high net worth and ultra high net worth, but we're lucky enough to have 3 what we would consider ultra high net worth. That's with people of, we have one at 100 million, 150 million, another one at 700 million. So we've got those 3, what we consider ultra high net worth, and we have a whack of mass affluent and I guess high net worth. And then like everybody, we're OPES family advisory. We take the view that we take the family on. So when we take a new client on, we actually tell them that. We have a family offering, and we will take your family on. And we have a couple of unique programs for their family. For instance, we now have a formal financial education program for the family. It's a 4-week course. I happen to be the one doing it now. That hopefully will change. So we do that. We also have a IPC may not like this, but a 25 under 25 program, if the child has under 25K and is under 25, we do not charge an advisory fee. Yeah.
Well, it's good for me. But.
Yeah, I know it's not for you, but it's not, it's Chris, every kid of a high net worth person has more than 25K.
Exactly. Or they will eventually. So it's not a big deal. And plus I don't even know what the fee would be on a 25K. I don't know what it would be. So not much.
I don't think we're losing much. So we've got those unique programs, and also we do different things for that segment of the clients. Like we have our clients segmented. So there are different things that we do, and I think clients know that it is different. So we try to deliver that as much as we can. And I don't think we're better than anybody else. I just think we're different.
Well, I think I think that not only is your services different or unique, you have a good way of communicating that. And I think that's important especially with segmentation. And we've talked about this, is clients should know where they are in the segmentation, right? You do have smaller clients, and that's fine. And you should have an offering for them, and they should clearly understand that offering and how much you charge for it. Then you're going to have what I'm going to call the retail clients. And those are the ones that continue to, pay the bills, and they need financial advice, and they need good financial advice. And then there's a graduation program. There's a private wealth type of family office that they graduate into when they have, the need and the financial assets to move in there. And your team, I think, has done a really good job at really clearly defining each one of those offerings, so the clients clearly understand them and also clearly understand the graduation process.
Yeah, it's interesting because, we have, a couple of different tiers. We didn't go with the traditional 3 that everybody has, but the clients and we do have clients that we only do investment management for them, and they're very usually the smaller clients. And quite frankly, every year, or at least every 2 years, and you can attest to this, we have a culling of the book.
Right.
I originally started with a small book we purchased through different avenues. You'll remember that, of about 20 million.
Okay.
I would say of that 20 million, we only have maybe, I'm going to say 4 to 6 of those clients left.
Right.
Maybe. And we're getting ready to cull again in 2024. But what's interesting, a lot of the clients that we're going to cull are just leaving anyway, because they're not taking advantages of the services that we have. It's rare that we have lost, like everybody. There's always a surprise loss here and there, no question.
Sure, that happens, yeah.
But we really haven't lost that many clients that are taking the most advantages of our services. So make sure that the clients that you want to keep, that you're trying to get them in and do them all the services.
Right.
But, again, you can lead a horse to water. You can't make them drink it, but at least offer it to them and continually offer it to them, because you don't want your client to think of you as that 84% that don't have a plan. Well, if they turned it down.
Right. If they turned it down, that's one thing, right? Yeah. But generally people go to financial advisors to get, or financial planners specifically, to get a financial plan. That would be like going to a tire salesman and not getting a tire. You actually should be looking for that type of advice. Now, to your point, there are some people who only want investment advice, but I think the lesson to be learned here is you can't be everything to everyone. And the more that you try to be everything to everyone, the more you'll fail with everybody, as opposed to try to be everything to a specific client or type of client that you really can create the most amount of value for, right? Then they will go and tell other people about that. So I think, your team has done a great job in, again, that communication of that value proposition.
Yeah, I mean, we're certainly not perfect, and I don't think we're a success yet, but we're going to continue to swing the bat, right? And we're finding that as we develop this family advisory practice, we're starting to swing the bat more and more often at the larger clients.
Right.
This year alone, I don't have a freaking clue what we'll end up closing, but already we're batting at another 35 to 40 million. We could close 0 or we could close it all. I have no idea. But that's what we're swinging. We're involved in these cases right now. What's interesting is last year, with the structure we had, we finally decided to turn our attention to insurance that was uncovered during the planning.
Right.
And I just found out, this is our first year really turning our attention to it, and I just found out that we were apparently 5th in IPC. So I don't know if that means IPC doesn't do a lot or that we did a lot. I'm not sure which.
Well, I'm going to say out of currently 700 advisors, I would say that's probably pretty good.
And that was our first year. So it shows you that if you do build it, they will come, and that's what we're trying to do. And, while you're building it, I know there's tons of advisors out there making a ton more money than me because we put so much back into the business. But my eye is on the enterprise value and multiple because, I've talked to a variety of other advisors that want to sell their book. And if you ever ask an advisor what their offering is and their secret, and it's them, their book is worth zero.
Exactly. You remember we've had this talk too. The value of your business is in direct proportion to how easy it is for somebody to take it over. And if it's very hard for someone to take it over, it's not worth very much. If it's easy for someone to take it over, it's worth a great deal to somebody.
Yeah, I mean, if you've been telling your clients all your life that you're the secret sauce and you have this proprietary method, blah 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 blah, which is blah blah, right? Then your business is absolutely worth zero.
Absolutely. No, I think that is great. So, Dean, I do something called the rapid fire questions.
Okay.
So I'm going to ask you 3 questions and answer it in the, as quick, whatever pops into your mind. And the first one, although I know this probably, what is it that you're passionate about?
Certainly family first. And that's why I go to work every day. And it just so happens I choose this industry to do that. And of course, boating.
Boating. Yes, that's right. Those are great passions. The second question is, what is your most memorable interaction with a client?
I'm going to have to say, and this is multiple times, when you see your work come to life, so death of a spouse, terrible thing to say, but one of the things, when you see all the value, when they're sitting in your office and they feel comfortable enough to tear up, things like that. That's probably the most thing that I remember.
And I couldn't agree more. Like, that's the times that you know that you're doing something important. It's not just a business. You're doing something important and creating value for people.
Yeah.
And the last question is, how do you want to be remembered?
Oh, that's a good one. Geez. I think because I said family first, obviously as a family man, but in the business world, just as somebody that has integrity, and that's it.
Yep. Well, that's the best goal that you can have.
Yeah.
Someone who has integrity and that does what they say they're going to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's the thing. I mean, I know dealing with head office, sometimes I'm a PIA, right? But it's all for the client. Just so if any head office people are listening to this, I apologize for probably screaming at you, whatever I do, but it's all about the client for me.
Always about the client. No, that's fantastic. So I do a little rant, of course, and, for our listeners, I think Dean is somebody that we can take a lot from, because, as I said, the one thing that he's known for is an implementer. And we've had many discussions about who is the client that you want. And if you're going after the high net worth client, you have to invest back into your business. They want more than just an investment type of solution. They want the professionals and the people around them that can solve a lot of their financial planning and financial problems all in one place. And I think it's important that if you're going to go down that space, you have to be very focused, and you have to also, as I said, reinvest and put your money back into that business. It will not probably pay off in the short run, but in the long run, once you run in those circles, I think you'll be very happy. So, Dean, any last words for our listeners?
I don't think so. I mean, basically, if anybody's listening and has any other good ideas, let me know. I don't have the corner on the market on good ideas. We're always looking for them. And if they just want to pick up the phone and chat a bit more about business, I'm certainly open to that. And I'll just say, just listen to Chris and move on. It works.
That's the best endorsement I have ever had. And with that, as I said, always in these podcasts, I always offer out the coffee with Chris. And so if anyone's interested in specifically talking about this topic, I know myself and Dean have a great relationship. We talk all the time about business, and we certainly have a lot of things in common. So if you who are listening want to have a chat about your business and where to take it and how to really deal in this high net worth market, happy to do that. With that, thanks for coming on, Dean. I enjoyed our little chat and look forward to the next episode.
Thank you.
Thanks for joining me on Turning the Page. What did you learn from today's episode? If you follow me on LinkedIn, please drop me a comment there. I'd love to chat with you about it over virtual coffee. Send me a message on LinkedIn, or you can do so at our website. The link's in the show notes. I'm Chris Reynolds, and until next time.